morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the one and only Rumboyz Fantasy Network. It's your boy Rumboyz Robbie. Make sure you guys check out our sponsors, Shop GLD. That's right, Shop GLD. Promo code GLDG Rum. Get iced out. Get your favorite team on a chain. You see, I'm still rocking that Washington thing after we just sent them Eagles with their first fucking defeat. The smell of defeat is in the air. Also, want to shout out our homies over at All 22, over there at All 22, powered by Pro Football Focus, the brand new fantasy football format that allows you to select I shouldn't say select, allows you to draft a full 53-man roster. Think of it as your Madden franchise mode, if you will. We're talking linemen, we're talking punters, receivers, cornerbacks, the whole 9 yards. You get skin on every aspect of the game. Also, I want to introduce you guys to our partners at Champions Round. The link is in the description. Download the app. All right. Play our daily dozen pulls. Play our daily dozen pulls. $12 entry. Okay. $12 entry. You pick 12 props. If you hit 7 of them, 7 out of 12, you win $2,400. How many times have you fucking dropped a 10-leg parlay and you fucking missed by one? If you're that guy that routinely misses by like one or two, Champions Round is perfect for you.
I definitely got to play that shit. You've been telling me about that. And you know me, I like my crazy parlays. So it just sounds like fun. Like shit, even if I missed by 3.
It's like, yo, like, holy fuck. Like, I mean, so definitely got to go check out Daily Dozen. And once we get enough of you guys signed up, probably like next like couple of days, I'm going to be announcing a Rumboyz pool where we'll be having a buy-in. I'll pick like a lucky number. We'll have a buy-in, and we'll do something for you guys as well. So you really need to go and hit that link in the description section for real. Let's get into today's show. It is our AMA session. It looks like that we got some teams rolling in the chat. If you're into 6-player props, Karam, then you need to go on Monkey Knife Fight. Like we've been doing that shit for years. Use my promo code Rumboyz. I'm gonna match your first deposit all the way up to $100, dude. Like we do 6 legs, we have 3 legs, we have a lot of shit popping off for all your daily fantasy player prop needs over on Monkey Knife Fight. I got sponsors out the ass. That's what happens when you're legit. What go on, Leafs? What go on? It looks like we have our first question of the show. So cheers to me, cheers to you, all the boys and girls. What it do, dilly. And this one's from Aiden. Thoughts on Tony this week, with it sounding like absolutely nobody playing in Kansas City. You know what? You've been rubbing it in Mike's face. And the motherfucker's not here right now. So due to the fact that his ass ain't here, I'm gonna let you kind of riff here a little.
I personally, two things. It depends on who else you have on your roster. If you have a better option with more volume share, yes. But for the most part, in DFS and in deeper leagues, I'm liking the Tony play. You already saw they're trying to get him involved. You already saw he's a dynamic athlete. He can make some catches. He wasn't used the best in New York, and he has been a little brittle. So that's really put a damper on his outlook and his potential. And a lot of people look at him in a bad way. But if he's on your team and you need someone to start, he is a viable candidate. Let's face it. You can get him the ball in the backfield. He can go deep. He can run a little slant and take it to the house because he's an explosive athlete that knows how to wiggle and get out of sticky situations. Personally, I like it. And I like him for the rest of the season, considering that Juju's probably, what did he have, a hamstring with Juju?
It's something like that, something or the other.
Yeah. So, if he's out for a couple of weeks as we're getting close to the fantasy playoffs, he's a guy that might find himself in more lineups than not. Last week he had the touchdown. He had a couple of nice plays. I love the play where he adjusted his glove, then made the catch. It just shows you that this guy, he got it.
Well, one thing that I'll say is like once you start getting into the thick of the season, one of the things that I really love paying attention to is rostership. Okay, you kind of and I've been known to be the guy in this industry to kind of look at players almost as stock, and like at this point in the season, that's where you kind of really want to be doing that. And I know that can be fucked up and that can be offensive, and that usually, I wouldn't, go with it of that approach. But when looking at the Kadarius Toney stock, he's 30% started and 70% rostered. So for some of you guys, this is a guy who's going to be available for you if you're dealing with, Kirk or Etienne being in your flex. If you're like, fuck, like I got Miami, on bye right now. I don't mind a dart throw play like this.
If you lost Cup, you need someone to fill in for a week. I mean, if I lost Cup, there's not one player I'm going to pick up that's going to replace him. So almost every single week.
Is Tony a more profitable player than a Skronik or an Allen Robinson or a Darius Slayton?
Ooh,
that's where shit becomes real fucking dangerous, and these are the conversations that I want to make sure that we kind of bring up on this episode.
Yeah.
But Devin Duvernay, in Baltimore with Bateman not being back, there's really a lot tonight that we got to get into the nitty gritty of.
I think one thing that Tony has for him is that Pat Mahomes has been on his point guard. He's not honing in on one guy. He is sharing the rock. He is getting who's ever open or in whichever situation. He's distributing the ball amazingly to everybody. So I think that in this situation, I kind of like love his upside, but I temper my expectations. Like, I don't think that he's going to come out here, have 11 catches, go for over 100 yards and a touchdown. I think we can look at 6 catches for 60 yards, maybe a score. And in standard PPR, that's 12 points.
Jamie, give us something.
So when I was looking into it, when Juju went out, I noticed that Justin Watson took his place. He played 70% of the snaps, but only got 1 target. So they were using Tony more than they would with Juju's replacement. But if Hardman's not playing, I mean, this is all going to be Tony. But if Hardman does play, you kind of have to lower your expectations on Tony and probably go with the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like right now, I'm debating between Tony and Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm waiting to see if Hardman's out. And if he is out, I'm going Tony.
I don't think that and we have a Giants fan, in the box below. Mm-hmm. The tape is showing that Robinson is going to be the short pass, short game guy because of his ability to use his size to box out. Whereas Slayton, because of his ability to create separation throughout routes, it's not so much Slayton's speed. Let's remember who Slayton was at Auburn, right? Before he became in the NFL. Let's remember who Slayton was before, the Rumboyz interviewed him. Slayton is a break, boom, boom, a move, 1-2, and get separation guy, and that makes him so that's a style of football that I played, because we're guys that don't run, those 4-2s, those 4-3s. I think that Slayton's a home run hit this week. Against the Detroit Lions, I feel like Slayton's a home run hit this week. So I don't want to. And we'll get into like the Giants and Wan'Dale Robinson and such later. But going back to Aiden's situation here, to not get too off track. Going back to Aiden's situation here, I don't think that it's very rare that we see that the whole roster go down and like be completely demolished this late in the game, when this is the part in the game where guys start playing through injuries. While Juju, I don't think that is going to play through his. I think that Hardman is on track to be able to return. If you had Hardman on your IR spot, they're already trying to tell you and convince you that you need to move Hardman out of your IR, which is how Slayton even ended up in this conversation anyways, because I'm in a position where I'm holding Hardman and Mike Williams on my IR. I just pulled Conklin and fucking Slayton off of waivers. I would, without a shadow of a doubt, be able to love to plug Hardman into my flex or to, elevate Mike Williams up my flex. These are two teams with very high playoff implications. They cannot afford to lose either of these players for the long haul. What I would do is do what I am doing. They have questionable tags on them right now. I have a full fucking loaded roster. I will drop someone and make the appropriate roster moves mañana at best.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anyone on my roster playing tomorrow night. So I can wait, honestly, until Saturday. Mm-hmm. And then I will drop someone, in which at that point, you're not going to be able to pick that person up because it's going to be on fucking waivers. This is the part of the stage where now the gloves are off. We're talking about fucking week 11. Look at the title on the goddamn YouTube video, guys. Week 11 playoff pushes here. It's time to secure the bag. It's time to get money.
So separates the man from the boys.
I'll tell you this. I like Tony more if you have one of either Hardman or MVS starting. I don't like Tony as much if everyone is out, because that means he's drawing all that coverage, and I don't know how.
Oh, you're fucked if that happens.
I would rather MVS or at least one of those two guys coming, so there's somebody else to take some attention away and give Tony a little bit more space.
So I'm going to give it to you from an X and O standpoint, Taco. Mm-hmm. If it's MVS starting, cool, I'm down with playing Tony. If it's Hardman, I might be 50-50 on that decision.
Yeah. The other
Hardman's faster than you. Hardman's been there longer. Hardman's the guy they're leaning on right now.
True, but Hardman's also been the guy that hasn't been able to steal or take hold of that spot.
But it started to happen prior to the injury.
True.
And I think the injury only happened due to usage. RIP Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz. Yes. The tight end positions is Wayne. Tight end is super fucked right now.
Yeah.
All right. And let's definitely talk tight end.
So with those two gone, I mean, when Njoku comes back, Njoku has to be in a top 5 conversation.
But we need to educate our players week by week. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Njoku can be a top 5 when he comes back.
They're talking about him coming back this week.
Yeah, but
it's a little too early for me.
But we don't know that for certain. And with the information that we are given right now, a Conklin could be a great play for you.
Love Conklin.
What's up?
I was gonna say Greg DeLuch from the Broncos, because you have Judy that's being out, so it gives him a little bit more target share. And Russell Wilson was finding him before last week.
Dolchich could be a guy. Let's see here. I'm trying to. Fuck, I had one. Oh man, I came into the show with one. Fuck, let me go double check this really quick.
If you look at Denver's passing schedule, though, coming up, man, it's all green lit. So yeah. I love the Dulich call.
I have him in one league. I've been stashing him. One guy that I heard, and I don't know much about him, but there was a high ranked or high draft tight end for the
Trey McBride.
Yep. Yeah, it's either going to be him or Max Williams. I think Trey McBride got like 92% of the snaps when Ertz went out. So I think they're going to be using him more, but Max Williams is the veteran, so he could take away from some
if it's Max Williams, get ready for shit to get dangerous. Isn't Max Williams, is he still a Cardinal?
Yeah, yep.
Shit. Juju's in protocol. Andre Cisco cracked him. Yeah, we called that live.
Oh, and Komet could be out this week. The tight end position is just one of those positions this week.
Yeah. I like the Monroe play because the Raiders live and die by the tight end so fucking heavy that it is so obvious whenever there is not a Darren Waller on the field. McBride is a great blocker, but they're gonna force him into a role to where he has to make some catches, you know.
And they have the backup quarterback this week too.
Ooh, Juwan Johnson.
That's a good play.
He's tight end 11 right now.
And I think he only has like one touchdown on the year too, right?
So it was So
he's 11.
Juwan, he has two. He has like two, I believe, like 2 or 3. Johnson's tight end 11. Conklin's tight end 12. And that's what my debate was. I was like, do I take Conklin or do I take Johnson? I was like, Johnson's been killing it, and he's also been killing it for our parlays whenever we're playing the Saints. But that Juwan Johnson late garbage time TD is like kind of like a thing that you can always like rely on with Johnson. And I mean, you know, same last name, no relation. I mean, but fuck it. But I ended up going Conklin just because that offense is more pass heavy, and ball distribution seems to be more prevalent.
I'm looking now at Johnson since week 6. He's been getting like 87 to 90% of snaps.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's tight end 11. He's tight end 11.
Yep.
He's tight end 11.
Targets in the red zone.
What up, J Money? If I had Juwan Johnson or Conklin available, I would like what I try and do with a lot of my fantasy rosters is this is like a little secret sauce. This is Plankton has stolen it, and I'm giving it to you guys right now, okay? So the way that I make the perfect fantasy football Krabby Patty, I try and via waiver wire moves and trade execution, the way that I get a lot of my trophies, I try and build as much players within like that top 24-ish range as I can possible. And I look for who the players throughout, like as the season progresses, who is doing it the most consistent, and those are the targets that I'm trading for, and those are the waiver wire pickups that I'm picking up. I could have had Conklin weeks ago, and I probably should have honestly had Conklin weeks ago. But be staying on brand in this one particular league that I've been talking about and been referring to in this one particular league, I've been rolling Gesicki with Logan Thomas as a tight end too. And I fucked myself in a position where I'm playing for 6th. And it's a 3-way tie right now between 6, 7, 8. I'm sorry, 6, 7, 8. Blech.
I'll say this. With Conklin, I think he was better when Joe Flacco was there because he was getting more consistent plays.
This is the highest he's ever been ranked in fantasy, though.
Oh, no, he's been good. But check this out. Since Wilson's been there, he's only had one blow-up game, and that one blow-up game was 79 yards and 2 touchdowns versus the New England Patriots, which is the same exact team that he's playing this week. So if you're looking at a matchup for him, he has been up and down. But let's face it, in this kind of a matchup where Bill Belichick knows to get under the skin of young quarterbacks and knowing what they do, they're going to want the Jets game plan every week is to get the ball to Wilson. Wilson is a beast, but they're going to make sure they shut down Wilson. And I think this is going to give Conklin that opportunity to come in as that reliable second or third option for Wilson in this game. Because let's face it, we already saw it in the last game. For Conklin, he had 6 catches on 10 targets for 2 touchdowns in that game versus the Patriots.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that if you roll with either of those two guys, at the tight end position this week, those are the 2 most prized possessions. Those are the jewels that I'm going after at the position. If I need to plug and play someone, those are one of the two.
And what I like about that game when he faced New England 2 weeks ago, he had 10 targets, 2 in the red zone, 6 catches for 2 touchdowns for 79 yards. But overall, he had 137 air yards. So he is going downfield. It's not just these short dink and dunk passes.
And I think that they were down in that game for almost the whole game, and they started making a comeback. So game script wise, it definitely favored him, which I don't see much difference because let's face it, if you are Jets fans, you understand no matter how bad Bill Belichick is, he owns you. He's your daddy. Like he
owned the Browns. I was at that game.
Like he owns them.
He stopped Nick Chubb for like 60, 70 yards.
So I'm expecting Ramondre Stevenson to have a monster game.
No, I'm with that take. I'm with that take as well. Weirdly, I had a midseason draft. We're playing for order of dynasty draft next summer.
That's cool.
Teams definitely gotta let me know how that popped off. Wait, like midseason, like did you draft your rookies already? Because that's like mad fucking weird. Like if that happened, bro, I'd fucking curse someone out right now.
Yeah, that's all like me. Like they had a full draft with all the players, and like probably CMC went number 1, maybe Barkley and CMC went 1 and 2. But I like that.
What was I about to say? One of the things that I want to bring up is the heavy weather implications that are going to be taking place. So, to my knowledge, it is going to be taking place like we know that the Buffalo Cleveland game, up until this point, is going to be getting 2 feet of snow.
Yep. But we know that in advance, so I think they're going to take precautions and get people ready to start digging the snow out.
Yeah, they always do bad. Where they're like we're going to give you free tickets if you'll fucking shovel this shit.
Yeah. Yep. And I hear that they get a lot of volunteers, so it's not going to be bad, but still, man, it's going to be cold as shit.
I mean, that's the best outfit right there.
I mean, Timbo's is like any season out here in New York. Man, listen, if they threw beer in there, fuck yeah, I'd be there. No problem.
We're doing a season for the remainder of the games to decide draft order. Oh, okay.
That's dope.
That's what I got.
Dak, Saquon, Chase, Hopkins, Evans, Kittle, Devontae. Okay.
That's better than I. That's better than I. Like, tight end is like a fucking crapshoot this season.
Yeah, unless you have the top, 2, 3.
I swear to God, in most of my leagues, that's what I was targeting. Because, in my opinion, I came into the season like this. I want pass catchers that I know are guaranteed to get the most routes on their team. If I'm getting a back, he has to be a full, true 3-down back with no one else in there committeeing with him. Or I was going tight end. And I got Andrews in 1 league. I got Kelsey in another league.
Hell yeah.
And I got Barkley in 3 leagues because I lucked out with like.
You were getting Barkley in the 3rd, right?
I got Barkley in 3 leagues. I got him in the first round, either 9th.
Hold on. I drafted AJ Dillon. I had no idea he was so ass this season. Weak RB2 again. Hold on. Matt, you have been subscribed long enough to where you know that we do not heavily favor AJ Dillon here. We are not AJ Dillon truthers. I don't know when that'll ever change. I don't know when that'll ever be like a thing. Yeah, no, bro. Fuck, man.
AJ Dillon was a dynasty pickup, not a seasonal. I don't know him in any of my seasonal leagues.
I don't want him, period, in any format.
Really? Not even dynasty?
Ramondre Stevenson is everything they thought AJ Dillon would be. Like,
yeah. I think Ramondre is my most owned player, man. Like, we were drafting him in the 8th, 9th, 10th.
Bro, like, that's what I did with running back. I got Barkley early and I got Stevenson late, and then I hit off the wire.
Hell yeah, that's the way to do it.
I got shit ton of pass catchers, and that's right now. If I'm hitting the waiver wire, I'm looking for guys that have targets that are, like Terrence Marshall. He was someone a couple weeks ago. I took a shot on him. Has he panned out yet? No. But you know what?
Bro, definitely play Kenyon Drake over Dillon. Drake makes blockers miss, bro.
Yeah.
He makes tacklers miss.
And Gus Edwards may be back, but he's not going to be fully involved.
I think they figured out something in Baltimore. Like, oh shit, wait, do you compliment Lamar? Like
Bro.
their running style works with this shit.
And the other thing is, he can catch out of the backfield.
Mm.
You can use him in any situation. I have him on my squad, and I'm sitting there like he's a found money.
Drake makes so from a coaching standpoint, Drake makes Lamar so much better. By the way, I want to take a moment to actually I'll take a shot for this really quick. I want to shout out the NFC special teams player of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, it is no other than the young man that I coached in Pop Warner football.
Oh, that's dope.
Who, me and his brother were in high school together. His mama was my algebra teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, motherfucking cheers to me, cheers to you, to the AFC special teams player of the week, Joey Sly. What is
Oh, yeah.
Billy.
Let's go.
Hell yeah, dude. My girl picked him up because on Sunday night because she didn't have a kicker. And I'm like, pick up Sly. She fucking won her game because of that.
So he was in an interview today, and he was like during pregame, so he was like, I was warming up during like pregame. And he's like, I know. He's like, I know that I can hit it from 61. He's like, so the fact that I had to hit it from, he's like, I had to hit that one from like 50 something. It was like 50, 55, something like that. He's like, I know I didn't have to back all the way up to the fucking 65. He was like, nah, like we're good. Like he's starting to lock in. He's starting to like lock in. That man's ought to be dangerous. Dangerous. And he went to my high school. Well, I mean, that whole family went to my high school. Like, just like my family went to high school, but it is what it is. Have Kenyon Drake, maybe he takes over we talk about that. OKC beat the Wizards. Bro, I can believe that because it's the Wizards, but the Wizards have been playing really good basketball. They'll be fine. But that's a damn good win for OKC.
The Kenyon Drake thing, his schedule coming up after week 12 is fucking amazing. But you have to remember Gus Edwards is going to be back. And in about 2 weeks, I think
Dobbins
is going to be healthy.
Yep.
So you got to play him now for the next 2-3 weeks until they get Dobbins back.
Yeah.
Or unless he just takes over.
Yeah, and who knows how healthy Dobbins is going to be, man? Like
I do vote the Pro Bowl, but like it's like a heavy thing that like I talk like or like do like on air. I mean, like it's just a click of a button. Like, but y'all should definitely be voting fucking Montez Sweat because that man is killing shit. Go look at his stats. Oh my god,
Isaiah Pacheco, boy, his matchup this week against that Chargers run defense.
All right, here's the thing. I'm not a KC backfield fan.
Me neither.
Just like, but just like Mike.
What Mike said.
But Mike can't deny that CH has been the more efficient product.
But they just got away from him, man. It's like they're trying to get rid of him, move on to the XFL.
I mean, here's my thing with CH. I don't think he can get the short yards.
No, you can't get the short yards.
So if he's not going to be able to do that, and he's not as good a pass catcher or as dynamic as McKinnon, let this kid start getting his burn because in the playoff time, I'm going to need you, big boy. And honestly, while I don't love Pacheco, if you're getting him off the waiver right now as a potential starter, you got to take that shot because more than likely you ain't
McKinnon's a better runner.
Yeah, McKinnon's going to be used more in probably the passing game.
He's a better PPR. He's a better PPR back. But
McKinnon's even better on film.
Yeah,
I agree, but they're committed to Pacheco.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's the thing. It doesn't. It looks like with Pacheco, it feels like they're trying too hard.
Yeah, they're forcing them into that offense where they need to start Rojo, like Mike said. He is the better back.
No. You need it. They should have been started trying to get something working with that.
But I mean, if they are going to be featuring Pacheco this week, I mean, he can easily get you like 10, 12 points.
No, I agree. Yeah, they throw more tight end screens than running back screens. I'm not a fan of the when it comes to the running back styles in Kansas City. I'm not a fan of who they have back there. I'm personally not ready to trust Pacheco. Like, to me, that's a guy that can just sit on my bench.
I agree.
Unless you're forced to start him. Like, I mean, I like honestly, I'd rather probably start Pacheco over Swift with the way Swift's been being used.
Who would you rather start, Deontay Foreman or Jamal Williams?
So wait, before we go into that one, before we go into that, Taco, fuck no. The Isaiah Pacheco's not even nowhere near as talented as DeAndre.
We're not talking about talent. We're talking about usage right now.
Yeah, no, still not doing that. No, because all it takes is for Swift to just fucking pop off, and then you choke on your words. Yeah, no, I'm not dealing with that. Going to what you were saying, Foreman or who?
Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams has been a consistent top 15 running back all year.
Yeah, Williams has been super consistent. I feel like I would almost go Williams.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, Swift looks like he's back, but he's not. He doesn't look this season like he's.
We'll see what happens this week with Swift.
Yeah. This is tough.
But I'd almost rather the way that he's been being used the past 2 weeks. I would almost rather have him on my bench.
I feel like in this situation here for Jim, I would start Foreman.
Yeah, Foreman over Moore. Yes, for sure. Higbee's not even in the conversation. It's either.
Yeah, you have Baker Mayfield in at quarterback, and I mean, he just probably gave himself a fucking concussion that no one knows about after headbutting every single defensive player after walking off the field. Higbee's going to be without Matt Stafford, so how that's going to affect him, adverse or not, yet to be determined. But I could imagine that he maybe gets an elevation in targets, or either they're going to suddenly discover, holy shit, Allen Robinson, you're breathing. That'll be one of the two dilemmas that you deal with there. I think that Foreman is probably the most stable, option, because I can see Wilkes being like, I need to make sure that I get an opportunity to be able to continue to coach in this league. Baker, I got to minimize your mistakes. You know what we're going to do? Run the ball down the goddamn throat.
Yep. 100% agree.
That's one thing that I do like. I'm a little worried at how that's going to work, but it could possibly be good, like you said, where they're just going to try to minimize Baker and just keep feeding the rock to the running back, you know?
That's what I think that they would do.
Makes sense.
Here, let me see something.
Baker,
big playmaker.
I drafted Mike Williams in both 2 leagues. Luckily, I've been deep, so I've been able to kind of hold off while he's been gone. But his upside is ridiculous. He is kind of like a home run hitter, though. So
yeah, he's a boom or bust player, where he's going to get you like fucking 30 points or 2.
Yeah. He's the kind of guy where if you have a bunch of stable guys, you can afford to play him without a question.
All right,
you can't.
I'm gonna say this, going back to the whole Baker take really quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. I so apologize. They're definitely gonna have to run the ball, because you need to figure out a way to keep the ball out of goddamn Lamar Jackson's hands.
Yeah.
So Foreman, it is.
Yeah. Agreed. Fuck, man.
It's here's what's fucked with Mike Williams. They have a questionable tag, but no projected total next to his name.
I say keep him out another week, man.
Yeah, I think that was the plan, because it's been what?
You can't after you lost the Niners. After you lost the Niners last week, you can't.
That is true. It really depends on how much he can move on that thing.
They were looking to win that game to be able to buy them some extra time to get them both back.
You could tell though they missed him, because Josh Palmer, like, He does get like
Josh Palmer's a 3. He proved that he's a 3. That's it.
Like
what I saw in that game is a 3.
Yeah, like Herbert, like he is nothing right now, and Eckler is just about it. So if they get one back, it's interesting. If they get 2 back, they can maybe go on a run. I know both were at practice, but they're keeping that shit on the down low, so we have no clue what's going on there.
Will Lazard keep his top 20 receiving status now that Christian Watson had a breakout game, or will Rodgers keep trusting him? So Rodgers is probably going to keep trusting Lazard no matter what.
Both, I think.
With Watson, he's had a lot of nagging injuries.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone can deny, like, what he's had. Something with his knee, something with his hamstring, something with his ankle, something with his hip. Like, it was like either like his hip or his back, like something like he's had like already like multiple like ailments. I mean, even when you watch that Packers Cowboys game, there's a play where he kind of like limps. Christian Watson's durability at the given moment is what worries me. But I think that the durability is only in question because he's not getting a whole lot of burn. And like once his body gets used to it and gets used to game speed and is like acclimated, then it's like, okay, so like, fuck, I'm gonna be running, X amount of routes per game now that I didn't have to do in college. Like it's drastically different. So once his body gets acclimated, I think that, but it's gonna be Christian Watson's not going to be profitable for anyone this year. He was profitable for people last week if you were lucky enough to start him. I don't think that's going to happen again.
One thing I want to say is they're playing the Titans, right?
Yeah, Thursday.
So the way to beat the Titans is through the air. Like I think the Titans only allowed like 50 to 60 yards per game for running backs. So they're going to have to throw the ball. So it's going to be an Aaron Rodgers, Lazard game. I can see Lazard having a huge game this week. I don't see a 3-touchdown game coming to Watson again. That's not going to happen. That was a fluke. But Watson's still going to be involved. And, I still think he can get you like 12.
All right, here's what I'll say.
Hold on. Watson will still get you like about 12 to 15 points this week. He's not going to be a top 5 guy. But if you throw him in your flex position, he's probably going to get you more points in your flex than your other options for flex, like a Tony. Like if you're deciding between a Watson and a Tony, I would go Watson this week just because he's playing the Titans.
I could see that, but whether or not I could trust it due to the fact of what the Packers have produced for the better part of the season.
Mm-hmm. And they're playing at home too.
I will say this. I just added Aaron Rodgers in my 14-team league last week, and he finally delivered. And that is my favorite quarterback. Yeah, well, he's the shit. He got dropped.
I'm sorry.
So
yeah,
I think there's a possibility that he could just deliver that magic for Papa. So
I see a huge passing.
I'm actually playing him this week, Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. Deep down, I feel like Aaron's going to put up a 20-point game. I just feel like it. Just feel it. And I think that he needs someone else other than Lazard. Like Lazard can still be top 20 and Watson can still be profitable. We've seen this on numerous teams, and this is Aaron freaking Rodgers. Allen Lazard is not Deontay Adams he's not Adams. Not. Okay, he's still going to require another player to help him out, and I think if Watson can keep on this track, it's interesting. I hold him. I'm not sure if I play him. Kind of like what Robbie said. From what I've seen, it's very hard to trust. If I don't have really good options and I'm a gambling man, sure, but.
Just for matchup wise, yeah.
Like if I have someone with a good matchup, I'd rather play Drake.
I don't want, with it being week 11. This is one of those times where like you have to ask yourself, do you want to be behind the ball?
Yep.
On a Thursday night, and I don't know if I want to be behind the ball on a Thursday night. I think Titans
for sure play Lazard.
The AFC. So like Good Morning Football said something this morning that we've said on this show, on this channel, just on this channel in general, multiple times throughout the week, where we've stated the AFC is super stacked. The NFC is not as stacked. But what's the great thing about the NFL is like it's fucking hard to win in the NFL, no matter what, no matter who it is. Like there's no such thing as under. You can't walk in and be like, oh, this is an automatic win. Like I'm facing Washington this week. Like that doesn't fucking work. Like I'm playing fucking Giants. I'm playing the Browns. Like like there's no such thing as an easy win. So. With that being said and stated, I think you have to go off of data when it comes to Watson and just the whole Packers thing. And I just don't want you to get behind the ball on a Thursday night. If you were like, if this is a question about Derrick Henry, I'd be like, oh, like fuck, fire it up, But
I want to say one more point about Watson. So Allen Lazard was obviously the number one receiver. He played the most snaps. Watson was number 2, playing 54 snaps, which was 80.
But had the better stats.
Well, yeah, but that's besides the point. But under Watson, Sammy Watkins was the number 3, only playing 33% of the snaps compared to Watson's 84. So obviously they're using Watson as the number 2. Lazard is going to be the number 1. I see a big game from Lazard, average game from Watson this week. So.
And listen, if you're gonna fire him up and put him in your flex, move him from flex to the wide receiver spot, so you don't burn your flex.
That is a great,
great
strategy. People
with Thursday night players.
People don't understand why, and I'm like, well, unexpected things happen.
Exactly. And then second of all, if you need to hit a home run, I don't think it's terrible play, but you have to understand that there's a better percent chance he's gonna bust than hit. Yeah. Yep. But you're shooting a dart saying, I'm solid enough all in other places, and I need someone that can maybe hit it out the park.
I'll let my opponent take that risk and I'll play a lineup with like a pretty solid floor, to try and get me across the finish line. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't Watson's floor be like 10?
Fire up Daniel Jones this week. Waiver wire options are Mariota, Brissett, Matty Ice, got Lawrence and Kirk on bye. Absolutely fire up Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he's got that rushing upside. Hell yeah.
Yeah. His name is Danny Dimes, baby.
Yeah. Fire up Daniel Jones.
And how about this?
How did he get that?
Probably going to sign. He's going to probably get OBJ come and in fantasy playoff time. He's going to be.
I don't think that'll get OBJ.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think he's going to get OBJ.
I think so. He's leaning now.
I heard it was Dallas, possibly.
Dallas and the Giants were the last 2.
Stop. Hold on. Let's confirm one thing about Dallas. Mm-hmm. We are hearing Dallas because Dallas is doing the talking.
Yeah.
We are not hearing Dallas from him. Mm-hmm. He has said, here is the list. Here are the teams. Jerry Jones has a big fucking mouth.
You know what Odell got? Miles and miles of heart.
So
I could see him saying, I could see Daniel Jones going back to New York. Like the only way that not Daniel Jones, fucking OBJ. I could see OBJ going back to New York. The only way that he goes to Dallas is that bag is fucking talking. There is no veteran minimum involved. No nothing. No, not a niente.
So going on to the question with Daniel Jones, though, he is playing at home against the Lions, which are the worst fucking defense. So
they have allowed they allow the most fantasy points of opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah, so fire DJ up. Yep.
Shout out to Marcus Grant. Love you, buddy. Me and him, we were conversing about that.
Hell yeah.
What's good, Connor? DPJ or Garrett Wilson? Looking to bounce back in my money league, but Cup is now down. You're not going to be able to replace Cup's production. So you're thinking in the right spot. I want to first address that philosophy in regards to Cooper Kupp. You're not replacing Cooper Kupp's production. It's impossible. Okay. But what you can do is you could throw some patchwork. All right. And I feel like Garrett Wilson might be the best patchwork that you're going to get.
This week, I'm thinking the same thing.
Bro, if Garrett Wilson is available, hell fucking yeah.
Well, he has him on his bench. And he's
I'm assuming it's a bench question.
If he's on your bench, he's an automatic starter now. No question about it. His talent and upside are there. You know that this Jets team, once they lost Breece Hall, kind of don't have the fire. Like Carter is nice, but he ain't that nice. He ain't Breece Hall nice. That's going to give more work to the passing. Like Robbie was saying, this team is now trending to being a passing team. That's why he's going after Conklin, and that's why you're going to look at Garrett Wilson to be a viable wide receiver 3 for the rest of the way.
Yeah. I mean, DPJ can also be a wide receiver 3 because his floor is like 12 points. But but you got to remember, the Browns are going against the Bills at home.
In a snow game.
In a snow dome.
Yeah.
So I can just see that being a huge run game. Chubb's Singletary. That's it. Mm-hmm. So DPJ is probably going to get you like 6 points at best.
Damn, and Wilson is facing New England this week.
And DPJ's not a jet sweep guy, so don't expect no fancy shit. All right, go, Garrett.
DPJ has not scored a touchdown yet this year, so don't expect a touchdown.
The homie Eagle champions round in the hizzy. What's good? If snowing in Buffalo, which it will be snowing, we are looking. The snow report is honestly, last I checked, which was an hour before showtime. Actually, it wasn't an hour before showtime because Taco and I were fucking DMing each other 10 minutes before showtime. 10 minutes before showtime, we are projecting 2 feet of snow in that game. Mm-hmm. Before getting into answering Dan's question, I do want to make sure that I reiterate this. For those of you that enjoy under games, if you're like me and you like this type of shit, you like snow games, like you're a degenerate, you're a fool for this shit, I need you to head to the books and you need to find, get you four very conservative, solid under bets and ride the motherfuckers.
I have one I want to ask you about later, but we'll talk about.
Like we rode Pereira last week.
I'm gonna fucking fight you.
I just don't see you sitting Allen unless you have Justin Fields.
I'm a Pereira you, bro. If snowing in Buffalo, sitting Allen and Diggs. I don't know if. All right, due to Allen leading the league in interceptions, I can.
But he might not throw as much.
It's a running quarterback.
He could run more.
He could run for 150.
Exactly, and that's the problem. Is that this is a perfect vanilla Vic game.
Yep.
This is when you were like, "Oh, I need a Konami code QB." This is what you needed it for. This is what you needed it for is these snow games.
Yep. And fire up Singletary if you have him. This is a week that you definitely play.
This is why you have to play Singletary. This is why Buffalo drafted him from Wyoming. It's like, oh, bro, we saw what you were doing in the mountains at that altitude.
Yep.
In the snow. Was Bracken, big baby, come to Buffalo. You know what I'm saying? So
now the problem with Diggs, that's what's interesting. Now I have Diggs.
I see jet sweeps.
How about this? I have Diggs and Gabe Davis, but I have Lockett and Godwin on bye. So I'm forced to kind of play Diggs and Davis this week.
I'm benching Buffalo this week. I'm gonna keep it real. Everything but Buffalo defense.
So would you say
and running backs?
Would you say Diggs for DPJ? No.
Okay, no. Let's be logical.
I mean, everyone other than Diggs, but that's the thing. This is one of those freaky games where anything can fucking happen. anything can happen because we've seen games where he comes out and throws good in the snow. He is used to it by now too. That's
what I'm
what's scary.
saying.
What if during that one period of time the snow is already settled and there's no snow on the field, so it's just that there's 20, 30 inches of snow all around, but there's no snow falling during the game?
Bro, I've been the guy to fucking in a snow game bet unders, like bet passing prop unders, and then motherfuckers to go off.
There was a couple games like that. It was like the Oakland game I remember a couple years ago. And Carlson hits like almost a 60-yard field goal in the blistering winds of a like fucking snowstorm.
Yeah, in Denver.
Yeah.
You're like,
I remember me and my co-manager were bitching, and he's like, "It's a nasty game. Why are you going to play the kicker? The kicker can't do anything in this game." I said, "It's fucking Carlson. He can do anything," and he delivered. My guy.
Yeah, I say gamble this one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that there's necessarily a right or wrong answer.
It depends on your team and who's your other option. Is it Gabe Davis or is
Allen's
it
definitely throwing a pick this game?
If he throws it,
does he throw enough to actually?
Yeah, like, he might have.
There will be throwing. There will be throwing. There will be passing. There will be passing.
So like I'm
not
saying,
a lot of it, but there will be passing.
You should take the under on Allen passing yards, take the over on Allen rushing yards.
Yeah, I would do that. I'd run that.
How about
I'd run to the bookie with that.
Yep.
If you ran with alternate line on Allen, you would say passing yards over what? 150, 250?
For Allen rushing?
Passing.
Passing? Yeah, I'll take Allen passing for like 150. 170. I'll even take Allen passing for 170 in the snow.
Yeah. 200, that's where it gets dicey.
200 is where it fucking definitely gets dicey. Even at 169.5 is where it gets dicey. Like I mentioned, like I'd be willing to fucking play that. Like I'd be like, bitch, this is Josh Allen.
Facts.
Nope.
But like 169 rushing for 25. Like if he could pass for 169.5, rush for 25 in the snow, 2 feet of snow, like I could see that. Like I could, if anyone could do it, it's Josh Allen.
Yep.
You know.
So Robbie, let me ask you this: someone put Josh Allen on a trade block in a dynasty league. He's on the lower half. I'm in the top 3. I need a quarterback. What should I offer him for Allen?
The farm.
I would be like, yo, here's a first, here's a solid wide receiver 2 or RB2, whatever you are able, whatever you are able,
running back. Like I got Pollard,
whatever you are, whichever at either or position you are capable of auctioning off.
Yeah.
So, like me personally, I auction off more wide receivers than anything else in dynasty leagues because the wide receiver pool in any given draft class or any given draft class period, whether it's startup or whatever, wide receiver is just a very, very dope pool or deep pool to where I have a lot of options where I can work from. And I could trade up, I could trade down at that position. So what I do is I would say, like, here's a first, here's a really dope, wide receiver 2 for you,
and then like throwing golf.
Yeah, fuck
bye.
Yeah,
and like worst case scenario, golf becomes Gino.
Like it's a super flex league, and I'm in 3rd place right now with the team I got, running with Trevor Lawrence and Goff as my quarterbacks.
Golf was good early, but he's been fading, and
that Hard Knocks hike died really hard.
Yeah.
After week 4 or 5, was it?
3.
But
downhill.
We're seeing the Amon St. Brown revitalization, and I just want to take a quick look at their schedule because, like, so much of fantasy football is not player but schedule. Like, please believe that schedules help.
But this is different football now. So all those teams that sucked at the beginning are about to start doing good. See, November and December football, we're now getting ready for December football. This type of football is different. And we told you guys at the beginning of the season that shit like this was gonna happen.
Yep.
We told you at the beginning, take a screenshot of what you just drafted. Take a screenshot of what your roster looks like week by week. Because I guarantee what you started with is gonna be nowhere near what the fuck you are ending with.
So, question. So in this league, I have hella running backs. And my receivers are AJ Brown, T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, George Pickens. So I mean, I got like a bunch of good young receivers. DPJ.
I'd be like, yo, here's a first, here's DPJ, here's and here's a
Golf.
Golf, or either like even if you can keep Golf, and like here's a third. Because just in case Golf,
running backs are Damian Pierce, Pollard.
So let me just say something really quick about quarterbacks.
ETN, and I have.
Let me just say something about quarterbacks right now, right here, right now. Quarterbacks, the quarterback position as a whole, okay, and this goes for redraft and dynasty. You know, whether if you are in the bottom half in redraft, you're kind of thinking how dynasty managers are getting ready for next year are, okay? And here's why I say this. This is the perfect time for you at quarterback because so much turnover is about to take place.
Yeah,
Brady's going to retire. Rodgers had it rough. Carr's going to get moved to a different team. You know, like so much shit's about to happen with these older veteran guys. We don't know if Lamar's going to be with Baltimore or not. He probably will. Like so much is happening. You know, we're still asking ourselves is Josh Allen really him or is Josh Allen really him? I feel like Josh Allen is really him, but his interceptions are seeing something, different. You know, people are there's an indictment out right now. There's a case out right now on Justin Herbert for highway robbery because of the fact that his wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 have been injured. If you ask me personally, he's still been getting it done despite not having Allen and Williams, and he still looks damn good. And there's a reason why his fucking card sold for $1 million some odd dollars.
And remember, he got that rib injury versus I think it was KC, and he has not been the same since then. And you add that with no receivers, it's fucking hard. And he's been putting the team on his back.
Heineke is now is making a name for himself. Daniel Jones is becoming good. Geno Smith is now fucking found himself in a beautiful place. You know, is Atlanta rocking with, the Marcus Mariota, or are they look like getting ready for Ritter time? What's going to happen in Tennessee with Tannehill? There is so much fucking parity in the NFL, and we've been tracking it since the birth of this channel.
Excuse me, it's Danny Dimes.
Huh.
Get it right.
Oh my God.
Well, Robbie, going off that in the same league, I was just offered a trade, or I countered. I'm going to try to get Sutton, giving up Gallup and a 2023 third, which is a fucking steal to me. To get Sutton, because I need a receiver to replace Palmer, because I'm playing Palmer as my wide receiver 3.
So you're going to get Sutton and
that's it for Gallup and a 2023 third. And the dude was like, he texted me back.
I would do that.
He's like, let me think about that. So it's been about a day since I offered this trade. And I looked at his team. He's in 6th place. He just lost Ertz. Doesn't have Albert O's his number 2. So hey, I my dynasty, I have Granson and Molele Cox. I'll give you both of those as a throw-in.
I don't know if I would do that. I think that's playing too that's being too liberal at the tight end position. That's being too nice to him.
Well, it is, but I don't even use because I have Duelish on my taxi squad right now. Ooh. I don't even use Granson or Cox.
So then I can support that.
I'm stashing Troutman, but I have Hawkinson. So
God damn Kent State.
Love Kent State, bro.
No, we don't. They just fucked us on a parlay.
Oh,
Ooh.
dude.
We
Damn.
don't love people that fuck us on
My girl
gambling.
just graduated a few months ago with a fucking master's degree on the dean's list from Kent State.
But that has nothing to do with our gambling. That
Hey,
does
I
not
got a
help.
question for you guys.
That does hurt.
Kent
That
State
does not pay,
jerseys in my
that does
fucking
not pay our
closet.
bills, Jamie.
How about this? All right. So in that Josh Allen deal you
You
were
shouldn't
talking
have bet against Kent State, bro.
in that Josh Allen deal,
They were
would
different.
you consider dealing Bryce Hall because
Brees Hall?
instead because you're deep at running back, you know he's going to be out for a
That's
little
a
bit.
good idea because I have
You have
Pollard,
a
Pierce,
championship.
ETN.
You're deep at running back. He's a
Bill
valuable dynasty piece, so you can keep more of your picks. So this way, you can maybe pick someone in the later rounds that be more valuable to run a championship run next year.
Next year, too. Yeah.
And
Or
then
either
you can get a guy like
Pollard
Josh Allen,
get
who's a
you some
QB1.
decent picks for next year.
So
And Brees Hall won't be valuable next year, probably.
no, he
right?
won't. Not until
And a dynasty
until
man that's sucking,
2024.
if he's tanking, that's the kind of guy you want to hold.
I'm gonna be honest. My favorite rounds,
I love that.
favorite rounds in dynasty
Yes.
formats to draft is back in first, and just and like I'll keep if I have a back end first, I'll keep that back end first.
Hell yeah.
So what if not for Brees
But-
Hall a second?
But if I can load up on a shit ton of seconds and some thirds, oh, that's where I know that
Brees Hall.
people got the game fucked up. Everybody, like I have no problem straight. If I have an early first round pick, hey yo, here you go. You want it? Take it. Oh, you're gonna go after the running back that has a shit ton of fucking mileage on him, huh? That's gonna get fucking broken their rookie year in the NFL. Go ahead and take that guy here.
Yeah. And think about it. In most leagues right now, the top shelf running backs aren't lasting. It's the second and third string guys that are coming in toward the end of the season to save you. So, I mean, it depends on the which way you're playing it. But for him, he has a championship quality roster. You make the play for now, and you put yourself in a position to go back to back. Let's just say you just miss. Well, guess what? I'm still in a position for next year where I'm going to be solid enough to take
And I'm playing for this year.
In fantasy football, when you are making trades, you have to be fair and equitable, first off.
I always do that. Yep.
But underneath the table, there is, I would say that it is 70% fair and equitable. That other like 30%, I'm hoping that this fucks you over in the end.
And you have to remember,
I am sending you a fair offer at the given moment.
Yeah.
And I have had it to where, you know what, that was a fair offer, and you know it helped the other person more than it helped me. I've had that happen. I'm not saying that I am victimless.
Yeah.
But I have had plenty of times where, hey, you know, it's not my fault that you were high on Melvin Gordon.
Mhm.
You know, like it is what it is. I appreciate you giving me Terry McLaurin at the time.
Bro, that's how I feel about my see. And I'm in a 12-team league where I'm desperate for a quarterback. I have two options on the table. I have Jamal Williams straight up for Tom Brady, and I have Deonta Foreman, whatever, the guy from the Panthers, for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has an interesting playoff schedule. So he has Tennessee in the championship week. And he has, I forgot the other one.
Is this a 2 quarterback league or one?
This is a 1 quarterback
This is a
league.
1 quarterback league draft.
I'm still debating this one hard. He has Jacksonville week 15, Tennessee week 17 for Dak Prescott. But like Foreman, there's something about him now. I'm a little deep, but he has Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Tampa as his 3 games.
You also remember it's Dynasty, and Dak is only like 27.
I'm actually in redraft. I'm strictly redraft. So
is it a redraft?
Yeah, I'm just we going straight for the chin.
Yeah.
all in, no breaks. So I'm deep at running back. I got Stevenson. I got Saquon. So Williams and Foreman are kind of my 3-4 running back. That's kind of where I'm at. My issue. My quarterback right now is Kirk Cousins and Russell Wilson, and I'm gonna try to Drop Russell Wilson for
No, don't
Daniel.
drop Russell Wilson.
Stop.
Look at his schedule.
Stop. Wait. Hang on. We have a chat question. Let's pay attention.
All right, we'll go back to this.
And I'm gonna come back to yours, Taco, because I have the solution to your problems. Of course I do, right? Like
it's a hard one.
You know how we get down. You know how we get down. Conklin or Monroe, I would say go Monroe. Fuck, god damn it. No, that's not what I meant to say out of my goddamn mouth. I read Monroe last, and that's why that came out of my mouth. We're going Conklin.
I would too.
How did I do that? I can't believe I just had a booper moment. Like I really just did that.
Is Monroe gonna be like their second receiving option now that Renfro and Waller are out?
No, I think Mac Hollins is still going to be involved. Monroe is just a third, honestly. Fourth, if you consider the run game, because they're just going to run.
Monroe gets and he's a big body guy, to be honest. Okay. I love Foster Monroe.
Yeah, me too. I like him, but not over Conklin.
I think that Conklin is starting to come into his own. You know, like I really do believe that. Like I wholeheartedly believe that.
Well, I think this is.
But I also think that Monroe's coming into his own too. Like, fuck.
Again, Conklin had 2 touchdowns last time he played New England. It's another New England game. If not now, then when? That's my stand from Conklin right now. He needs to deliver this week. Otherwise, I'm going to be a little. I mean, a lot of people at tight end don't have much better choices, but Zach Wilson ain't it for the tight end.
See, I'm going against the consensus. The consensus says start Monroe. I'm still going Conklin on this.
What's Monroe? Is Monroe? Hang on, let me check. Let me check something. Hang on, I'm gonna check right now. I'm gonna look on Sleeper.
I'm just looking like touchdowns allowed against New England for tight ends doubles the touchdowns allowed for tight ends against Denver. That's why I'm going Conklin, but it's close.
Yeah.
But 91% of analysts say to start Moreau, but I'm going Conklin in this situation. I'm going against the grain.
Huh. Yeah, I'm going Conklin.
Yeah, like
Conklin,
he averages more.
Rated higher. Conklin's rated higher.
He averages more per game on the season. So
I'll say it like this again. It depends since you have both. It depends. If I need a home run hitter, I'm going Conklin. If I need a guy that can get me a couple of singles, I'm going Monroe. I think Monroe's a little bit safer. I think Conklin has a little bit more upside. Like Jamie was saying, the touchdowns that New England's allowing to the tight end is double, which gives him that scoring upside that we don't really feel about Monroe. He can score. He could
How else is New York going to score?
We don't think he's going to score.
How else is New York going to score?
Carter? Possibly. I mean, hey, they may finally play Elijah Moore. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those things. Like I said, fire up Ramondre Stevenson, guys. Fire up Ramondre Stevenson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
I feel like we like answered like some like pretty like important questions.
I like the keep Russell Wilson because I'm very like after last week.
Love Russell Wilson the rest of the year. I might be alone on that, but just watch, man. He'll be a top 10.
That's what I felt like, and that's what the high horse I was on. But the last two between Jacksonville and Tennessee haven't elicited much confidence in me, and I'm sitting here. I got that those proposals. I kind of feel like I have to take Dak, but I kind of am worried.
Jim says, "Don't talk bad about the Broncos, please." Jim, I am an unbiased show. I talk bad about everyone. I have a Washington Commanders chain. I talk bad about my own motherfucking team. Not this week, but every other episode that I'm literally on air. This is probably the first time I've had something positive to say in a really long time. You know, we're not going to go into that, but
I saw a question.
It's my job to give you guys unfiltered fucking content. Like, but I really do want to get into this question.
I
Like,
do too.
I
love this.
love this question.
Yep, I have about like 4 or 5 people.
I don't want to include injuries. Like, I feel like including injuries is just so like.
Yeah, because injuries are predictable.
Yeah, you can't predict injuries, suspensions.
So you have to take Keenan Allen out of it.
I don't think anyone's beat their fucking
Payton
life this year. I don't think anyone's like got caught with steroids this year. I don't think anyone's got caught gambling this year. I think we're good on the suspensions this year.
So can I start?
What you got?
The biggest bust of the year, going from the draft that I remember off the top of my head, who is being drafted the highest that got busted the most? It's between.
There's only one answer.
No, there's 3.
There's one answer.
It's Najee Harris.
That's the answer. That's the answer.
But there's also another one. Najee is the number 1. There's another one that people were not me, but people were drafting in the 3rd, 4th round.
I can't say Zeke because this channel wasn't high on Zeke, and we already said that it was going to happen. So I can't say that.
Zeke had some good games, though.
I've been shitting on Zeke for 3 years.
Yeah, we've been on air doing that, so I can't claim Zeke.
Swift was he's one of those paper mache guys that takes time to heal. We didn't predict it. Like
don't get that man Wolverine.
Swift was going to be a top 5 running back this year.
I love when people say you can't predict injuries, but then when you see injury-prone guys and you go, ew, and you don't want to draft them, and they get injured.
I took the chance on Swift.
Like I wanted no part of Swift. I
looked at Barkley. Hold on, Taco, to address that.
I saw Lamb.
To address that, the ethical thing is to not address or to not. It's the way that you say it and the way that you go about it. So, like, I can say that. So, I regret it, obviously this year, but every other year I've been right, where I've been like, guys, I'm not drafting Saquon. I'm not drafting Saquon. Why? Because of injury history. That is one thing of saying, hey, I am adverse to the risk of this stock because of XYZ. Twitter in the past has been a great performing stock until the motherfucker Elon took over.
For the record,
verified.
Saquon had some.
I'm not verified.
I'm verified.
I rode on that ship, and Saquon's going to take me to playoffs everywhere.
No, and that's the thing. Is so like that's why I'm not. But I will throw this motherfucker into the fire pit and into the fire.
Okay, that was my number 2.
I didn't draft Kyle Pitts, but I told all of y'all, and it's your fault. It's your fault if you watch this show every motherfucking day. If you literally watch this motherfucker every day, and I don't care what you're doing, like if you do it in like your small money leagues or whatever, like that's different. If in your big money league, where like the shit's really hitting the fan, and like everything's really on the line. If you watch Rumboyz Daily and you drafted Kyle Pitts, that's your fucking fault.
That's your fault.
That's your fault. That you cannot be like, oh, I'm gonna unsubscribe. Like, fuck that. Like, you did that to yourself. Because every take on this show, aside from a guest spot that has been featured, and literally I have debated that guest spot teeth and fucking bone. And there's only been one fucking person that's came on here being a Kyle Pitts truther. And I love him to death. But if you drafted Kyle Pitts, that's on your fucking fault. Like if you drafted Kyle Pitts and you watched this show faithfully, that's your fault. Straight up. And I get if you did like do it like as like a meme or to be funny. That's cool. That's acceptable. But like, if you really thought that shit was gonna pay off, fuck is you talking about?
Do you know how I got Mark Andrews in the 2nd round in the Scott Fishbowl League? Because some motherfucker took Kyle Pitts like 3-4 picks in front of me.
Man,
What
coming
an idiot.
season, I was singing the I still
We
believe.
like, I did it. I was like, bro, that's your fault, bro. You did that shit. You did that. You did that.
I'll say this: I
You
wasn't
did
pressing hard on him, but I did think he was 3 or 4 as far as tight ends on the ranking. I don't have any stock of him anywhere. I wasn't aggressive on him because I
So
preferred
I
the
had
top
him ranked
guys,
6th, bro.
but I still believed.
I had him ranked 6th.
I am 8th.
Dog.
It's like, ugh.
I
This
put
potential is
Hawkinson
being
over this
wasted.
man, bro.
Yeah, of course you take Hawkinson over him. I would have rather have Ertz.
Jim, every question that I answer is in
Ertz is
redraft
like
format.
Yeah.
Unless you say, hey, my
Dynasty.
question is Dynasty, I will always answer everything redraft. And everything is always redraft format on this show.
So
because most people, the market is mostly made up of redraft players.
So for example, what we were just talking about, I took Pitts in 2 leagues this year, and it was a tight end premium, super flex, startup, dynasty, and I took
him, but you weren't watching the show back then, though.
Well, I took him in the 3rd round.
But you weren't watching the show back then, though.
Well, I will still take him in the 3rd round right now because in the future,
Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck,
yeah, he is.
Fuck no.
He's got the talent.
Give
him the quarterback.
I'd rather get back with my ex than draft Kyle Pitts. I rest my case.
Well,
I rest my case.
Probably got some great Poo-Tang.
Let's put it like this: would you rather start Njoku or Kyle Pitts?
Right now, Kyle or Njoku.
Njoku, bro.
Hell yeah, dude! I had a hot take before anybody. It was back in June. I had
about what percent of your team have you? So I literally cannot give you an answer to that question because of how many leagues I compete in. I have leagues. I have leagues with friends from NFL Network, and I have leagues that are charity, and we have something we do for fans, and I'm in
we're constantly doing trades.
Yeah,
I'm in 20, 30 some odd different leagues, bro.
I don't have one team that I drafted that is the same.
Yeah, I could tell you. Yeah. No team. Unless because of the amount of leagues, unless there's a team I may have neglected. No team looks the same way that it does since draft day.
Yep.
No.
Even in my all 22 league, man, I've been making moves every week.
Yeah.
Just as backups, like my 4th string guys.
I make a lot of moves.
We never get on Kyle Pitts. We don't do that.
12 team, super competitive. Diggs, Barkley, Andrews, Mike Williams, Chris Godwin, Gabe Davis, Ramondre Stevenson, Chase Edmonds, I cut him. Lance, I cut him. Lockett, Zamir White, cut him. Josh Palmer, Jamal Williams, and then a bunch of cut. I got
Did I just hear you say Lockett, cut him?
No, I kept Lockett. I got him. I got him in the 10th round. It was a live draft.
Holy shit! 10th round for Lockett.
Didn't even realize because why we were taking him straight off of the stickies, and everybody was drunk and shit.
No way. Locking the 10th
quarterback. Everyone was like, "Fuck Gino. He can't do nothing."
I would have took that motherfucker.
There's a league that I traded to get Godwin and then just traded Godwin away. I make so many roster moves, bro. It's not
you gotta be
smart. We out here, bro. We out here.
Robbie said,
trading with me, so I get forced to hold my guy. So I try to draft deep and I try to minimize the.
I try and minimize risk. Yeah, I try and minimize risk as much.
Especially in the first 4 rounds, you have to minimize that.
But there's certain leagues where you play against so high level competition. Fuck that. I'll even flip it in the adverse. There's certain leagues where I play against such easy competition where it's all right, I can make this happen. It's super equitable and this just works. Yeah. I didn't have to send a bunch of messages back and forth to make this happen. You know, it's like there's some leagues where like it's super easy to take down, but there are some leagues where it's like, bro, like I think in one of the leagues that I'm in where there's a league that Adam Rank and I are in together, and like I think only like 3 or 4 moves have been made via trade.
That's it.
That's like some of my leagues. Like
You,
a lot
you
of people
have,
are afraid
but
of
you have
being
a bunch
scammed.
of sharks. You have a bunch of sharks.
Yeah. That's
Yep.
the problem.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to buy high and what is it? Sell high and buy low.
Yep.
But it gets to a point to where everyone is just sitting there grinning and licking their fucking chops with each other, and it's like, well, if I make a trade with this person, I make this person get better.
Bro, I had someone tell me they didn't want to trade with me because if they gave me a quarterback, I would win the league. They said if I give you Tua, you're gonna win this league, so I'm not trading you Tua.
Yeah, bro. There's a league that Mike and I are in together, and Mike talks about on the show. And you know, the one homie J Wall, he was like, yo, like, I'm not doing business with you, like straight up. He was like, you're the only competition I have in this league. I'm not doing business with you. I'm like, I figured, and you know, I figured since you were the most trigger happy motherfucker in there, I talk business. And I mean, just business. The second that he let me know what time it was and that he's fearing me, because I already won the championship last year, then I already know what time it is. So I just got to come up with my best roster week to week, and I got to do what I got to do. And then when we get in the championship and I got to face motherfucker in the championship, because it is going to be him and I in the championship, he's going to get smacked.
How about this? That's when you have a dick move where you see he might need a player, like he might need a tight end or a quarterback, and you start scouting ahead and you start picking up those guys before they can play him. But like, yeah, you could have played him. I don't need him.
We already know what type of time I'm on. We already know what type. Right now I'm getting real vicious. That's why we do this AMA. I might have my last blockbuster trade of the season to push my team over T. Higgins and Jamal Williams for Devontae Adams.
That's sexy. That's funny.
That is sex.
I like it.
I do.
But
like
my
both
thing
sides.
is, my
I like
thing
both
is,
sides.
all
Yes.
right. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. When these type of trades come about, you have to ask yourself, do I already have a shot with what I have?
Are you the big spoon or the little spoon? If you're the little spoon, I need 2. If
you're making this trade with a motherfucker that is in the playoff bracket as well, and if this is something that, in all honesty and in totality, will make their roster weaker, you know, when you look at the points, when you look at everything mathematically, when you balance the shit out by the numbers, if that works for your team, along with the rest of what you have constructed on your roster, then run that. I don't think that you need to. I believe that the Higgins and the Williams pieces might be able to lead you to the promised land.
Yeah, I looked at it the other way, that he was giving up Higgins and Williams for Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
It depends on who your other running backs are.
Yes.
Like, you're totally upgrading your receiver by like 10 spots.
Like, think about it like this.
And you're only giving up a bench spot, but Jamal Williams is a top 15 running back right now.
If you have problems,
I like getting the Adams side.
Think about it like this. If you have problems on who you need to start each week because you're so deep, then getting Adams makes sense for you.
Yes. Yep.
If your flex is weak, you don't do this deal because you need depth to win. You're not winning with flex spots that are trash. So it really depends on which side of the spectrum. That's why I say I like it from both sides, because if I just lost Cooper Kupp and I'm like, fuck, I got Kupp and Adams, I'm going to deal Adams and get T. Higgins and Jamal Williams. So I'm not as good as I was, but I'm not out of it. I got a puncher shot come the playoffs because Jamal Williams can go off for 2 touchdowns on any given night.
Guys, taking tomorrow to think it over. We'll be live tomorrow. George. Do you have my direct? Do you have my Discord?
We're going to be watching the game tomorrow night.
But if he needs something before then, he needs to have my direct. I need to get him my direct.
We got the pregame show.
Oh,
if he needs something before then, he needs my direct, is what I'm saying. George, let me know if you're following me on Twitter. If you need the Discord, we need to find a way that we get you outside this YouTube chat to where you can get in touch with me directly.
Yes.
So that I can assist you in the very much intricacies of what's popping with that. I want to make sure that I take care of you.
That's called concierge.
Hit him up on Twitter and the messages all day long. Follow Rumboyz Robbie, man.
Concierge service.
Exactly. No. I mean, a big point of this is, to make sure that we attach you to the people that can help you out, and really help you with that in-depth shit.
So I want to get back to this one question about our biggest bust. I forgot to mention one guy, and that's Brandon Cooks. Because right now he's wide receiver 50 on the year. And we drafted him.
He's also on the Houston Texas offense.
In hopes, because we drafted him in hopes to be a wide receiver 20, right? Within the 20 range.
But he's on the Houston Texans when he should have honestly been traded and moved off that team.
We were hoping he would have been traded.
His age also comprises and compounds into that factor.
I don't know, man. I wasn't expecting much. Like Cooks to me was like a wide receiver 3, where maybe if he hit
with a 2 upside, but he's wide receiver 5.
What?
The problem with that is it was a sticky situation with ownership, like basically saying we're gonna run with Mills. We were hoping would recreate the magic, but after being a Daniel Jones guy, I know how that works. Yep. One season doesn't carry over to the next season, so I was skeptical of Mills coming in. So I don't have any Cook shares anywhere.
I don't have many. I might have like 3 out of my 40 leagues, but when I did draft, I'm in like 40, 50 leagues, but
50 leagues.
I have them in like 3 leagues right now. None in Dynasty.
Jeez.
But when I drafted them, I was drafting them late. I didn't reach for them. I got them in a value, thinking, well, this guy's going to be a wide receiver top 25, 20. But I'm drafting him as a number 3, 4 guy, but now he's a number fucking 5. So that's a bust to me.
Yeah, I won't go that far. Just given situation. Just given situation.
His potential was bust. Like he's always probably like a 60-40 hit bust rate on him, I would say.
Like highest score any of your teams have put up in traditional PPR. So like full point PPR then in that case. God damn.
I can tell you right now.
I scored like 258 in one league.
You said highest score any of your teams, any of my teams.
Yeah. So my highest was like 258 this year.
I think I had like a 270.
Yes.
Something. I think I had like a 272. Like I had like a 280 something.
In standard PPR?
In traditional, traditional PPR.
PPR leagues.
Don't use the word standard. There's no such word as standard anymore.
All right, you're right.
When people say standard, my mind goes straight to PPR because that is the standard nowadays.
Yeah.
Nowadays, standard is PPR.
Standard is PPR.
Oh no, there are people that will be like in a standard league, and like you have to revert back to like
am I gonna score 64
back when you fucking had like Dante
points?
Culpepper's your fucking quarterback? Like you have to revert back to that thing.
And
like,
Sean Alexander back there for you.
Fucking
exactly.
Daniel Tomlinson and McNabb. I'm relying on those guys.
These kids will never know the joy of owning guys like LaDainian Tomlinson,
my first
Brian Westbrook, fucking Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson.
I passed on Holmes to pick LaDainian.
Bro, there were so many great running backs back in the day.
Hey, yo, Leafs, if your boy Jackson is sending you shit offers,
send him shit offers right back.
ban him from the fucking league. I ain't all right. It depends. Like if he's hitting shit offers to everybody, then ban him. But if it's just you, my starting lineup would be Justin Fields, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Saquon.
You got to do that deal.
Tight. Do that.
You got to do that deal.
Yes.
Do the deal.
Yeah.
Because even if someone gets hurt, you're still stacked. And the high end,
but he's honestly already stacked either way. You're already in playoff position, aren't you?
Yeah, you're in championship contention now.
Yeah, you got to.
No. He's already. He is either way. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
If he's already in there like swimwear,
half PPR. That's the weirdest thing ever to me. Still, like half.
I'm trying to think which leagues I'm in half point PPR.
Nah, that ain't it. The baby's up.
I think I'm only in like a couple of them. Like,
oh, I gotta go. I'll be right back.
Oh, you're good.
Dude, I don't like half PPR, man. I'm in this. I don't play any half PPRs. I play in one league that I've known these guys for 15 years, and it's not even half PPR. It's 1 point per 2 receptions. Like, what the fuck is that?
So that's just weird.
That's just fucking stupid, dude. It's like, why the fuck are you doing this? So if a guy gets 2 catches,
that's someone that doesn't know how to commish, probably.
He hasn't changed
I
his
still have
rules.
Mike Evans on my bench, but no other running backs. Burrow, that's where I'm now conflicted. That's why you're asking the question. Because you won't have no other running backs. Hang on. No other running backs.
Ooh. So
Burrow on the
Mike
bench,
Evans.
tied for second with 3. You're tied for second with 3 others right now.
Oh shit.
Which means that honestly, for you, George, the bonus. I don't think that you need it. Like that's where I'm getting worried about this move is the bias simply becomes a bonus. If the Raiders get behind the 8 ball, do you really continue to keep feeding fucking Devontae like that? Like the Raiders are already behind it. I mean, yeah, you're still trying to blow Devontae's stats, but I mean, you're just now trying to compete for a fucking win, and it's just desperate and it's sad. At what point do you say, hey, we're going to sit you down and we'll wait for next year? And that could be week 13 when you really fucking need him to fight for that position. You know, and that's where I worry about you making the trade. And that's where I'm like, Jamar Chase is going to be back, which helps T. Higgins. We've already agreed that Jamal Williams is the top 15 back right now. If I can have those pieces in tandem versus just relying on a Devontae Adams who's clearly starting to get demoralized, has his quarterback fucking crying in press conferences. Maybe I keep these 2. Maybe I hang on to these 2. And maybe I make someone else have to deal with the fact that they have to deal with the ugly side of what may happen with Devontae and a diminishing Raiders team. I don't know if the Raiders win a game. I don't think the Raiders win a game. At this point, I think you kind of got to stick a fork in Vegas. In Vegas, and I don't even think Vegas themselves can step in to save Vegas.
Yep.
The best thing going for Vegas is their hockey team right now.
Don't they have an XFL team coming up?
I believe so. I can't remember. I think so. Yeah.
I'll root for the XFL team over the fucking Raiders.
Yahoo's default setting is half PPR. I actually don't have a league on Yahoo. Quick one, rest of the season. Lamar or Fields? It's Lamar.
It's Lamar.
It's Lamar.
No, you can't go off. No.
Number one team in the league. Let me take a sip really quick.
All right, let me read this. Number one team in the league is too stacked. He flexed people beginning of the year, and he has Tua, Tyreek, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, Kamara, Etienne, and what?
So all right, so this is where it is important. It is not collusion, but you need to find an ally. You need to find someone, and maybe you lose some sleep tonight. I'm gonna be honest. This is probably a night. I don't know how much money is on the line. Give me a second. I don't know how much money is on the line in this league, but maybe you stay up an extra hour or two, 30 minutes or an hour after this stream, and you start messaging guys, hey, man, like, I'll trade you this, but I need you to ship this to this guy and try and pitch this to them.
On Sleeper, you could do 3-way trades.
Like, this is where you start. Right. Exactly. This is where you start doing the 3-way trade shit. You need to find a way to weaken that person's team. You need to find a way to weaken that person. All right. Or it's this. You build your team up so goddamn much, or your team is already built up so much, which I think that it is, to where you can last through the fucking playoffs, battle of attrition through that shit, fight tooth and nail, and when you and him face off in the championship, one of his players chokes, something happens, and you end up coming away.
Injuries may happen.
I have had those seasons.
Yep.
Don't think about his roster. Don't try and overcompensate for his roster.
Yeah, try to better yours.
I led my take with overcompensating for how good his roster is. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't stress yourself out. Don't do that.
Fleeced.
But I'd be 2 injuries away from being fucked. Exactly. So it's not worth gambling.
Yeah. Listen to Robbie, man. It's not worth it.
So then what? We go down a player or two. Now we're super screwed. Now we're super fucked. Now we're not in the playoffs. Now we don't even have a fighting chance against everyone else that is scrapping and clawing for it. I'd rather be a 6th seed fighting for my shit, holding it down for my shit, holding it down for my players that I drafted, than fucking my team over because I tried to overcompensate for something that I did. If I'm destined to make it into the playoffs at this point, I'm destined to make it into the playoffs at this point. If there's a real legitimate trade that I can pull off, I'm with it. Like, the only risk that I'd probably be willing to take, and I don't even know if I'd be willing to take it. I don't even know if I'd be willing to trade for Jamar Chase right now. And he's my favorite receiver in the whole entire NFL. Yep. He's my favorite receiver the last fucking 3-4 years.
I named my son after Jamar Chase. That's how much I love him.
Like, I don't even know if I would trade for him in week 11 before the trade deadline, because I'd be like, fuck, like, what if you come back and get injured?
Yep.
Then what am I going to do? There's a reason why you have a deadline. I don't feel like that you have a deadline because of punishment to anyone or anything. I feel like you have a deadline because it's like, I should have my shit certified and ready to go. I should be TTG, trained and ready to go. Should I start Allen Robinson or Najee Harris? You should probably start Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson.
You should probably start Allen Robinson. If Mike Williams is back, you are starting Mike Williams.
Yes.
Herbert's been waiting. Yeah. Like, you can tell.
Yes.
Like, every time that Herbert throws to Josh Palmer,
it's nervousness. It's nervousness.
But you see this look on his face.
You don't know that. He's a number 3.
Like, you remember that old 80s song?
Which one?
All by myself. That's Justin Herbert without Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
That's my song, man.
That is Justin Herbert without Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Yes. Josh Palmer is a great, awesome number 3 receiver. He's a good
3.
He is not a number 1.
Get Justin Herbert where he's no longer all by myself. Get him Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. He's good. Get him one of them back. He's good. If Mike Williams is back, you are starting Mike Williams, firing up all formats. Like, let's go.
Listen to that. Fucking 100%. Lamar?
Yeah, we fucking love Lamar.
Love Lamar, man.
I feel like my roster as is can compete, but getting Adams can at least mitigate one of his receivers in the playoffs, and my running backs give me the edge.
Well,
trade deadline is Friday, and no one wants to trade outside of this guy with Adams. He hasn't agreed to that trade yet. Only reason I'm 6-4 is I've been on the bad side of people having monster games against me. Any normal week, I'm putting up 110, 130, and cruising to victory. Only other trade I'm trying to do is swap A.J. Brown for CeeDee Lamb for consistency, but the Goddard injury makes me want to keep A.J. Brown.
Love A.J. Brown over CeeDee. Hell yeah.
So, all right. So, George, before I get to weeds and I get to Jay, because I see you guys there in the chat, bro. The thing is, it's like for me personally, you've been watching at least like the last 3 to 4 weeks. I think that your roster as is has a puncher's chance because Higgins becomes better when Chase comes back, and that's what's fucking with me is that if you give this fucker Higgins and Williams, bro, and you bring back Adams and Adams chooses to sit his fucking ass down. And I don't mean like in a literal sense. Like, he's still going to obviously play ball to get his game checks and shit, right? But Adams chooses, or the Raiders choose to not perform at optimal peak. Like, these motherfuckers can't even get a win. You're hoping that they are just literally competing out of desperation to get at least a second win of the season. And who's to say that in week 14, when you're really needing them, that they're going to be fighting for that win. And that's what I don't want for you. Like, at least these other two guys are going to go and get the bag. Like, at least Higgins in week 14 is going to go and get the bag.
Higgins and Chase complement each other so fucking much.
Williams doesn't give a fuck if it's Swift as a lead back or if it's him.
Yeah.
They're both going to try and do their best. And I want guys like that on my fantasy team.
I have Higgins and Chase both in my top 10 dynasty ranks. They're also in my top 10 redraft ranks. Boyd is a great filler. But you can't bank on Boyd when Chase comes back because Higgins is going to get all those receptions that are feeding the Boyd right now. When Chase comes back, Chase is going to be the man. And then Higgins is going to get what Boyd is getting right now. So you have to look at it as in layers. Like it's Chase, Boyd, Chase, Higgins, and then Boyd is down here. But right now, Boyd is up here.
And then if the motherfucker's trying to make a deal with you, that means that he's fearing you. That means that he's looking at you.
Yes.
Bro, don't try that Jedi mind trick art of war shit on me, bro. You're looking at my roster. You know my voice is nice. You know we coming for that ass. And if I have depth, if I have the option, the best thing I can have heading into the playoffs is having the option of selection.
Yep.
If I can now have a roster good enough, decent enough where I can be like, oh shit, I just gotta play matchups now. Now, if I can narrow my roster down to I just have to play matchups. I'm ready to box. Bro. I want a roster that's ready to box. And I feel like your roster is more ready to box without the trade.
I 100% agree.
Pick up Slayton, who I drop likely.
I don't.
Mike Williams, DK, Walker, Lockett, JWJ, Latavius Murray's, P. Ryan or Marshall.
I don't know if I would drop likely just yet.
I would drop P. Ryan.
Yeah.
How's that? To get Slayton? I think you're asking to get Slayton. To get Slayton, I would drop P. Ryan.
Yeah, 100%. Because P. Ryan's just a hope.
Okay.
Hope that Mixon gets hurt. If Mixon gets hurt, which we already accomplished.
It's just P. Ryan. Honestly, it's just P.
You
Ryan.
can't predict injury, man.
I would probably drop P. Ryan or Terrence Marshall. That's it.
No, I wouldn't drop Marshall. Yeah. I would drop P. Ryan over Marshall.
Yeah, I'd probably drop P. Ryan, honestly. Okay, I'm just going to post all my options at the flex position. Mike Williams, Thielen, Kareem Hunt, Najee Harris, Allen Robinson.
All right. I already have the answer to this.
My answer is too biased.
Mine is not biased.
Mine is biased because of the way that this man plays when he's like if he's really gonna be back, it's gotta be Mike Williams.
Well, that's the thing. If he is back and he's playing, yes, it would be Mike Williams. But if Mike Williams does not play,
then I'm probably gonna
Allen Robinson 100%.
I don't know if that playbook is gonna go to him.
Well,
I'm so fucking torn with that. Bro, I've
contemplated this.
But don't know. But hear me out. Hear me out,
hear
bro.
Me out too, bro. Allen Robinson is the most talented wide receiver in that receiving corps.
But Skronik is getting the targets.
Yes, he is. It is, but that is with Cooper Kupp.
Matt Stafford does not see brown people.
Skronik's getting the targets with Cooper Kupp.
I'm joking. I'm kidding. It's only a joke. That's only comedy.
So Cooper Kupp is the number one target, obviously. With him being out, Skronik's still going to maintain his role. So he is a viable flex option. But Allen Robinson being the most talented wide receiver in that core.
Talent does not help if your quarterback does not give a fuck about getting you the ball.
Well, he has seen a lot of red zone targets. He just hasn't caught any.
No, he's barely fucking targeted, period, in the whole fucking offensive scheme.
Well, he is one of the most
you can count on both hands how many motherfucking times this man is targeted throughout a game per Rams. Like it's bad.
But he does see those red zone.
Taco, what do you got? What you got?
Yeah, Taco.
I'd say this. Najee and Kareem Hunt wouldn't even be options.
Yeah, exactly.
If Mike Williams plays, you're playing Mike Williams.
That's exactly what I said. Yes.
If he's not playing,
I'd probably go Kareem Hunt.
Allen Robinson.
I'd probably go Thielen.
Oh, really?
I like that. Nope. I'll take Taco's side. I'll side with Taco.
So I want to say something. Like with Thielen, he has seen a lot of red zone targets, but with Hockenson coming into that offense, he saw a dip.
At least his quarterback will fucking find him.
But look, he's had 12, 9, and 9. Like he's gonna get you 4 catches for 40 yards. Like I can at least guarantee that I'm gonna
8
get
points.
that. At least. Do I know I'm gonna get that from Allen Robinson?
Well,
That's
with
hit or miss.
Cooper Kupp out, you gotta remember.
We're
Targets
hoping
go somewhere else.
Tyler Higbee could become the new number 1. I don't fucking know.
It's bro, straight up. Yeah, I'm not doing anything with that fucking Rams offense. If anything, I'll take a chance on Thielen or Kareem Hunt.
Fuck the Rams.
That's it.
Yeah.
Harris is out of the conversation. Robinson is just barely trying to enter the chat, and I don't know if we're gonna let him into the chat. It's Thielen and Kareem Hunt for me, and I'd probably go Thielen over Kareem Hunt.
I'm gonna go Allen Robinson.
I mean, logically,
I want you to be right about that.
I do. I really have a feeling. It's just
that if you're right about that, that helps me.
The only reason,
but I don't think that helps me at all.
The only reason that I'm thinking that way is because of those red zone targets that he fucking.
I'm forced to start him in the league, and I'm saying no. Okay.
How about this?
I'm forced to start him in a league, and I'm saying, God, please, Jesus, take the will.
I'm starting the New Orleans Saints. That's who I'm starting.
Who are you starting on New Orleans Saints, bro?
The defense.
Hey, yeah.
Okay.
I get I have a great roster, but I need the consistency and not so much the spike weeks.
That's the thing. You got to have a little balance. Like you can have home run hitters.
Then I feel like if you're needing the consistency, then you should ride with the stock that you have, bro. Like I don't know. I don't think that Devontae is like. I don't know if Devontae is gonna. Like something is telling me that Devontae is gonna something is telling me, bro. Devontae's gonna be like, yo, fuck this, fuck y'all, fuck this losing.
Who does the Oakland Raiders play during the playoff weeks? Now, when you're making trades, you don't give a shit about any of these other games before the playoffs. You see who he's playing week 15, week 16, week 17. If his matchups look favorable in comparison to the guys you'll be playing, that is your decision. Right now, the thing
I
that
feel like
matters
T. Higgins puts up or shuts up no matter his matchup, though.
Honestly, I'm not of that mindset. I don't think Carr can handle it. And if I see that he has bad matchups,
I'm talking about T. Higgins. I said T. Higgins.
What? Like if Higgins has great matchups, then it makes it harder. Because like let's just say Adams has okay matchups and Higgins has boss matchups. Then it's harder to make that move. But to me, that's what I'm looking at. Who is your better playoff schedule? Who do you like? Which matchups do you like based on the information you have now? Because obviously shit changes real quick. But that's how I'd make that move. Like if you want to condense because you believe in your backup guys and you spike, but at the end of the day, if you can spike during the playoffs, you win the championship. So like
I think he has enough backup guys to where he can move and groove, stick and move.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better just to get not only a condensed player, but you also get the roster spot. So when that one guy gets hurt and it's like, oh, this is the obvious pickup this week, you're not like, I have nobody to drop. It's like, guess what? I got an empty roster.
I think that his opponent's roster, if he makes his opponent keep Devontae Adams, I could see, like, looking into, like, the crystal ball, I could see where this dude's roster and eventually gets the best of him in that championship round, and you just slug out a fucking win, bro. Like, I'd rather take the gloves off with this motherfucker, bro.
Yeah. And there's going to be other waiver wire picks as the season goes on because more guys are going to get hurt.
Yeah.
I want to bring up a point about this Allen Robinson debate. I'm just looking him up now. Last week was his first week ever through week 1 through 9 without a red zone target.
He's looking at
like I said before. Yeah, he might not have caught him. But at least he's getting those targets. Now with Cooper Kupp out.
What up, Helena?
Oh, that's my girl. I love you. But without Cooper Kupp playing, who's the next talented receiver on the team? It is Allen Robinson. So with even Cooper Kupp playing, he was still getting those red zone targets. He got.
But that's not the question that we're on.
I was just bringing up a point that he is seeing those red zone targets every week of the season so far. He got 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2.
Well, let's address the question that we're on here. Defense question. Ravens defense versus Carolina or Arizona defense versus San Fran.
I mean, theoretically, it's Ravens.
I'm taking the Ravens, bro.
Over Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, you got Baker Mayfield starting. He's going to throw 3 interceptions. He's going to get sacked 5 times.
So hot, though.
Baker fucking sucks, dude.
Ravens D hasn't been great.
They haven't, but you got to remember, dude, when the Ravens played the Browns,
Ravens are a top 12 defense, so it's super easy. Just go with the Ravens defense.
The Ravens against fucking Baker.
Yeah. And it's the Ravens versus Baker. On a side note, am I dropping Cardinals defense or Vikings defense for a backup kicker? I can't afford to drop Myers on Seattle. He's a G. And the rest of my bench is good. Is too good.
My first question is: do you have a backup kicker?
I'm not dropping Myers either in my 14-team league. He's not leaving my roster, so I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I wouldn't drop Myers. I'm willing.
I was gonna say the Seattle Seahawks isn't an offense that gets that many touchdowns. They stall in the red zone. They'll move the ball but not get far.
That defense is a top 12 defense right now. And I have kept that defense plus the Ravens defense rostered in one particular league. I don't mind you dropping that Cardinals defense, but make sure you're picking up a kicker that you don't get attached to.
It's a
so that you can drop the kicker and then pick up. Because I'm already seeing what your strategy is in that league, in that roster. Make sure you're rotating that kicker out for another defense, because someone this week is going to drop a top defense and you're going to put an early waiver in for it. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, that's another situation with your roster where if I'm holding a defense, I might start looking at matchups and see if I can snag that early, week 16, if you think you're going to get the bye, or week 15 if you're not. Type matchup, especially if you know it's a competitive league where people are making early transactions. You need to start once Myers clears this bye week and you go into next week. Then once you drop that defense to pick another one up, then you start looking at that kind of a situation.
Exactly. And then also, I mean, pay attention to this week's, IR report. If someone gets injured, or whatever the case may be in practice, that may, affect you in a manner to where you just now slip someone in your IR and now you have an extra spot to where now you don't have to make any drops. So I want to advise you to that strategy as well. That's just kind of a way of hedging your bets.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that unless your league has something completely against it, and that's completely different, and I can't control that. Most leagues don't. That's what your IR spots are there for, to hold guys in the potential of whichever case scenario, which shit may flip or flop.
I'll tell you this, though. Monday night kickers, there's just something about them. They're magical. I remember one year, I think it was the Vikings, way back when, they had 5 field goals on Monday night. And this guy had said, I'm going to whoop your ass. You're down by 25 points. And my kicker delivered in the clutch. And it's you
can, and going back to Georgia shit, to what you just said, Monday night kickers, you can hold both and just drop and then pick up and then boom. That's a risk adverse, that's a very risk, adherent strategy, but I don't know if I would adhere to that. Jay says, I hope Kittle can rebound this week. I think you and every person that has Kittle is hoping for that, but this is a good time to move Kittle if you can. Starting hot because I had Goddard, but no, good. You're good.
I want to say one thing about the Kittle thing. It's going to be a CMC game because
Yes, George. Team Vikings drop Cardinals.
You mean Elijah Mitchell?
Mike brought up the other day, yesterday, that they play against the worst defense against pass catching running backs. Who's the pass catching running back on San Fran? It's CMC.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a huge CMC game.
But as you know, when logic takes hold, unlogical shit happens.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, let's go ahead and end tonight's episode.
Oh, this is such a great episode. Do we really have to end it?
Yeah. I have a job. I have fucking sleep. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. All the Rumboyz and girls, what it do. Billy Dilly, we love and appreciate you.
Peace.
We'll see y'all next week, same time, same show. Let's go.
Holy shit.